Okay, hi guys. I think we are live now. If you can see us, if you can hear us, please do let us know in the chat that everything is good. Uh, and then we'll start today's session.
Hi all. Just let me know through the chat whether the audio is okay, video is okay, and how your preparation is also going. Just drop in a hi and just let us know how your preparation is also going. And the topic of this particular video is given as RC and how to improve in RC, and we'll definitely give you guidance about that topic as such. But we are here to answer any questions. So if you have any questions related to quant, LRDI, any part of CAT preparation, just let us know. We'll be happy to answer all questions that you have. Okay. So hi guys, I see a lot of guys joining. Just drop in a hi in the live chat, and we'll keep answering any doubts that you might have.
So one thing I would want to recommend is now that July is nearly ending and August is about to start. How many of you have actually started taking mocks? If you have actually started taking mocks, please do let us know. And how many mocks are you taking per week or per a couple of weeks? How many mocks have you taken till now? So I just want to stress on the importance of starting your mocks and your mock journey as soon as possible.
We have Yojak who has joined. Hi Yojak, hi Rohan. Hi all those who have joined. So Yojak is asking about his profile, BSc Food Technology 789. Yojak, with your academic diversity, that will definitely help. Your 10th standard score is slightly weaker. That might be the only weak part as such. You have not given any information about your work experience, but I'm assuming you're a fresher. So with no work experience and the fact that you have a slightly lower 10th standard score, it might be a bit difficult for you to get a lot of calls if you're under 99 percentile as such. So I think with your profile, I think you should target 99.2, 99.3 percentile to get most of the calls, particularly with the fact that you already have academic diversity points as such.
And one thing that I like about your profile is that your score is increasing. Yeah. So if you get shortlist, you can easily explain your relatively low score in your 10th by saying that I didn't do well in my 10th, but thank you. I've improved my score in my 12th and in my undergraduation. That graph which goes up looks very nice.
Hi Rohan, hi, good to see all. Hi Roshan, sorry, good to see all those who have joined. Hi Nandini. My accuracy in quant is low. I'm able to solve 10 questions post mocks, but during mocks, just getting 5 correct out of 10. What to do? Nandini, I would say that if that is the case, slow down a bit. See, the point of high attempt rate is that if you have high attempt rate, you should have decent accuracy. The accuracy rate should be at least 80%. Because if you're spending all that time, 2-3 minutes to solve a question, you should get it right. Now, if 3 minutes does not get you a question right half of the time, then maybe you should spend 4 minutes. Slow down, be more meticulous in your solving, take the time so that the question that you get, you are solving correctly. When your accuracy rate is high, then you should try to pump up the attempt rate by practicing. Okay.
So one more thing I would want to tell you is that if you're scoring only say 5 questions correct, there also might be an issue with picking the right questions. So out of the 22 questions, maybe you are picking the hard questions and wasting a lot of time in trying to solve them. So you should also work on trying to pick the easy questions. You should have that. You should develop that sense of figuring out whether a question is easy or not.
Hi Saddam. Hi Pratik. Pratik is saying that his scores in RC are inconsistent. Previously, I started getting 40 plus in mocks and sectionals, but now it has dropped to 30s. What to do? Any tips regarding that? So this is something that I actually just made a video about it. Before I actually answered, one request that I will give to all those who are joining. I see a decent number of people have joined. Please like the stream. It helps us quite a bit in reaching students. It motivates us quite a bit. So please like the stream. What I will say is that, Pratik, this is something that I see very, very often. And the reason why this happens is that as you start preparing for CAT, you become more conscious of the rules that you have to follow. All the distortions, traps, you see videos about what to look out for. And once you are given all those rules to follow, there is some amount of confusion that creeps in. Some amount of self-doubt comes in. Oh, is this question, I see the options, I see option B is the right answer. But okay, maybe it's a trap, or maybe they are trying to like put this kind of distortion. It's a good option, but it's not a perfect option. And you start second guessing yourself. That is basically the reason why your score might be going down from 40 to 30, especially when you're practicing more and when you're actually studying more. You would expect the scores to improve. But what often happens is that when you start studying RCs, they initially drop and then they go back up. So that initial drop is due to this self-doubt, second guessing, and you should not really be overthinking as such. So this is something that happens a lot. This is something that I'll advise all students against. RC requires confidence. RC requires that you should believe that the answer that you have picked is the right answer. If you start second guessing yourself, firstly you will waste time, because then you will be like, okay, is it option B, is it option C, is it option B, is it option C? You will waste a lot of time in that. And secondly, your accuracy will actually dip. So don't second guess. Whenever you feel that this option is nearly perfect, it is the best of the options, don't second guess after that, mark it and go ahead. You should have instincts and you should trust your instincts when it comes to RC.
Okay. GS sir, while has asked that I took the mock test and was able to solve questions after the test. During the test, I did not even see 2 to 3 questions, how to find the easiest question that can be answered and how to solve 4/5 of the questions. One of the things that I do when I start solving the question is I put a very hard bound on the time that I'm taking to solve a question. This is especially true in quant. In LRDI, sometimes I'm not able to stick to it. But in quant, I ensure that if I don't solve a question in 3 minutes, I ignore it and I go to the next question. The reason for that is very simple, because I feel that when I come back to the question later, I'll be able to solve it much faster. Because I have this theory that even when you're not solving a question, and even if you're solving something else, your brain at the back of it is probably trying to solve that question even when you're doing something else. So many times it so happens that when I come back to solve the same question, 10 minutes later, I'm able to solve it immediately. So that reinforces my very strong diligent criteria for actually solving it. So if I'm not able to solve a question in 3 minutes, I'll just ignore it and go to the next question. And sometimes I get questions fast. I will be able to solve questions much faster. So overall, I will have time to come back and solve these questions. What are the easy questions? The problem will happen if you get stuck in a question and you waste 7 to 8 minutes. Then you will go into panic mode. Then you will again start doubting yourself. Many of these things come to the fore, many of these issues. So the most important thing that I would tell you is very simple. In addition to practicing a lot of questions, in addition to solving a lot of questions on your own so that you improve your judgment, the second thing that you should do, especially in mocks, is you should be very, very strict with the time control. I always see how many questions I've attempted and how much time I have actually used. I want that ratio to be between 2 to 3 minutes. It should not happen that I'm stuck in any question for a long time. Once you cut down on that and you agree that, okay, this is a question I spent 2 minutes, but I'm not able to solve it, and move forward, you will realize that at least the easy questions, the sitter questions, you will never miss out on.
One thing I'd like to tell all our students, many students have requested us for certain courses which are specific to one section. So only a course specifically for VARC or LRDI or quant. So we have basically now launched mastery courses in each section. So VARC master course, CAT, LRDI master course, etc. So all of these are separate courses, each priced at 4,999. So do check out Cracku's courses. And if you're looking for section specific help, do check them out because they can help you immensely master a particular section.
There are like a lot of people who are watching our stream live. There are more than 60 people who are watching our stream live. Please do like the stream, guys. Before the stream ends, I want to get to at least 100 likes. We have 36 likes now. I want to have 64 more likes so that we can get 100 likes. Normally, when I do a stream and I get 100 likes before the stream ends, I feel like, okay, I have helped 100 people today, and it makes me feel very satisfied. So that is one thing that I'm looking forward to.
So I'll take two questions. One is from Priyam and KFAL Gaming. So both I'll combine. So Priyam is asking, is 75% a good enough accuracy rate? And KFAL Gaming is saying that he has an accuracy rate of 50%. So the ideal accuracy rate is somewhere around 80% or higher. Now, why is it 80% and higher? Because basically when you're putting that much time in RC, I want to make sure that when you're putting like 10 minutes in an RC, you actually get like your money is worth. So if you're spending 10 minutes, you should get this much amount of marks from it. And that will only happen if your accuracy rate is above 80% as such. Now, how do you actually get there? How do you actually improve RC? If your RC accuracy, if your accuracy rate is somewhere in 50%, how do you improve it? So what I would suggest is the first important technique to improve RC accuracy is active reading. Those who have actually seen my videos before, you will know exactly what active reading is. But for those who have not heard it, active reading basically means that when you're reading, you read a paragraph, you write down the main point of the paragraph. You read the next paragraph, you write down the main point. So if a passage has 4 paragraphs, you have written down 4 main points. Now, are these main point summaries? No, you don't have to write down every important detail. You don't have to write down every simple thing. The main points are basically markers for you to remember what is there in the paragraph. So if a paragraph is a scientific RC, you can just write what is the what is the purpose of each paragraph. So this paragraph gives me the experimental setup. or if there is a persuasive RC and they have given you all the reasons why a particular policy is wrong. So you can say arguments against the policy. This is like policy is bad because X or because Y. So you have to write very simple main points of what is there in the paragraph. Now, why do I ask people to write this? It helps you create a map of the RC. It tells you exactly, okay, introduction, this is the context setting, this is the main point, then he gives reasons why, 1, 2, 3. So you get an overall map of the RC. When you have the map of the RC in front of you, you get a good feel for the RC, you get a good hold of the RC. Now, when you have that kind of map in front of you of the RC, it becomes easier for you to attempt all subjective questions on the RC. So, if all subjective questions will be basically, what is the central idea, what is the primary purpose, what is the, why does the author say, what would he agree with? All those kind of questions become easier to answer if you actually do this. So that is the first step. All those who are struggling with RC accuracy under 80%, please do this. You will see a immediate jump in your accuracy.
One question that GameZone was asking is that, okay, he's able to solve one DILR set and he's also able to solve 6 questions in quant. But one issue that he's facing in VRs is that he's able to eliminate 2 options, but whenever he's marking one of the remaining 2 options, he's always getting it wrong. So how to fix it is his question. This I've addressed in some of my earlier streams, but because this is important, I want to address it again. Many times in RCs and in verbal questions in general, one of the approaches that I use is eliminating the wrong option. Because in verbal, it is very rarely does it happen that any of the options is 100% wrong. So you will get 4 options. Each of them has a degree of truth to it and a degree of falsehood. Now, the correct option will be mostly nearly 100% true, but even the other options have some element of truth. For example, you have A, B, C, D. A is 100% true, B is say 60% true, 40% false, C is 70% true, 30% false, and D is 50% true, 50% false. If you're trying to figure out which of the options is correct, you'll go through all the 4 options, you will feel that, okay, some part of each of the option is correct, so you're not able to figure out which of the option is correct. But if you're trying to eliminate the wrong options, if you find something which is wrong in any of the options, you eliminate it, then you will be able to eliminate many of these options. But even in the last 2 options, the one which is say 100% true and the one which is say 90% true and 10% false, you will be confused. You will feel, because the option which has only a small element of truth, a small element of falsehood, basically has a small element of exaggeration or a small element of falsehood that is added to it. So you feel that it is wrong, but you're not so sure. Now, in those 2 options, if you're marking one option, what I feel is that is still a very good thing. Even if you're getting that answer wrong, that mostly happens because I think on some level you're not able to calculate it properly. What I essentially mean is, suppose you have used this strategy for 10 questions. For 10 questions, you have been able to eliminate 2 options, and amongst the 2 options, you have randomly put one option as correct. The mock is over. By mathematics, by probability, you will get 5 of them correct and 5 of them wrong. But when you're analyzing the mock, sometimes your brain will tell you that the 5 questions that you got correct using this strategy, you got it correct on your own. You tell yourself that in this, I was able to figure out the correct option and I got it correct. And you only remember that you used this strategy in the 5 questions that you got wrong. So sometimes I think just your brain basically is tricking you into thinking that this strategy is not working. But you have to believe in mathematics. Whenever you're able to eliminate 2 options, just go for it and pick the correct option. Another way in which to you can answer it and convince yourself is just by again looking at expected marks from randomly attempting. This also I have discussed in some of my earlier streams, but suppose you haven't looked at any of the option. Suppose you don't know anything about the 4 options, you randomly mark a question, randomly mark an option. The probability that you will actually get it correct is 1 by 4. But when you get it correct, you get 3 marks. The probability that you will get it wrong is 3 by 4. But when you get it wrong, you lose only 1 mark. So effectively, if you are randomly guessing, your expected score from that question is 0. It will be 3 into 1 by 4 minus 3 into 1 by 4 minus 3 into 1 by 4 minus 3 by 4 into 1. So essentially it becomes 0. But suppose you are able to eliminate one option, then the probability that you will actually get it correct becomes 1 by 3, because now there are only 3 options remaining and you will get one of them correct. And the probability that you will actually get it wrong is 2 by 3. So now out of the remaining 3 options, if you randomly tick an answer, the expected score that you are going to get is 3 into 1 by 3 minus 2 by 3 into 1. So this becomes 1 minus 2 by 3. So your expected marks will be 1 by 3. If you are able to eliminate 2 options, there are only 2 options remaining, and the probability that you will actually get it correct is 1 by 2. And in that half a chance, you will get 3 marks. And in the remaining half a chance, you lose 1 mark. So your expected score will be 3 into 1 by 2 minus 1 into 1 by 2. So you are effectively getting 1 mark. So just believe in the mathematics. If you are able to eliminate two options, just go for it and mark some answer.
Okay, I'll take the question of Shikhar. And Shikhar is asking, while doing RCs, should we read questions first or should we read the passage first? So I always say that don't read the questions, always read the passage first. If you read the questions, it won't like help you, but it won't hurt you as much. But if you read the options, it will actually have a negative effect on your ability to answer. I'll explain why. See, if you just see the questions, you will know that, okay, this is asked, but you will not know how to answer the question without seeing the passage. So it will not help you, neither will it help you, nor will it hurt you. But if you actually see the options, what happens is that many students see the questions, see the options, then go and read the passage. Now what has happened, the option information has come in, the question passage information has come in, the option information, if it has any extraneous information, even that gets added to the passage information. Now, if you actually go back and see that particular question, you will now see that, okay, I had read somewhere that, okay, this extra information was also given. So you'll not be able to see that, okay, this is beyond what is given in the passage. This is like extra information that was introduced in the options as such. So what I would suggest is never read the options before actually attempting before reading the passage. That is a absolutely no. But the best way to do is read the passage, do active reading, write down the main points, have a good map of the RC in front of you, and only then go to the questions. If you want to see the questions just to know exactly what is of importance, you can do that, but it will not help you. Ideally, you should always go from passage to questions and get a good hold on the passage and only then go to the questions. But absolutely do not read the options. It will muddle up what is given in the passage as such.
Kunal is saying, sir, how can I improve my English fluency for interview? I come from vernacular background. This is a issue that many people actually face, and for this I'm actually going to explain in Hindi because I think there will be audience who are also from vernacular background. So जब मैं इंटरव्यू के लिए प्रिपेयर करता था तो मेरा इंग्लिश भी इतना अच्छा नहीं होता था, तो उसके लिए मैंने काफ़ी कोशिश किया, काफ़ी मेहनत किया था. उसके लिए मैं काफ़ी नॉवेल्स पढ़ता था. नॉवेल्स पढ़ने से इंग्लिश का जो भी फ्लुएंसी है वो थोड़ा इंप्रूव होता है. तो अगर आपको नॉवेल्स मिले तो नॉवेल्स पढ़िए. अगर उससे भी बेहतर और एफिशिएंटली आपका टाइम इस्तेमाल करना चाहते हैं तो कोई न्यूज़पेपर पढ़िए, कोई इंग्लिश न्यूज़पेपर, ताकि आपको करंट अफेयर्स भी आपको समझ में आ जाए. और मैं ऐसा करता था कि नॉवेल लेके मैं बैठ जाता था और आउट लाउड मैं बोलता था, मतलब जो भी वहाँ पे है मैं बाहर बोलता था ताकि मैं भी सुन सकता हूँ कि इंग्लिश कैसा, मतलब हाउ इट साउंड्स. तो ऐसा मैं कोशिश करता था. 2-3 महीना ऐसा करने पे इंग्लिश फ्लुएंसी काफ़ी इंप्रूव हो जाता है. तो इतना कुछ डिफिकल्ट नहीं है इंग्लिश फ्लुएंसी इंप्रूव करने में. इंग्लिश ग्रामर इंप्रूव करना वो सब भी काफ़ी ईजी है. इतना कुछ डिफिकल्ट नहीं है जितना लोग सोचते हैं, क्योंकि ये मैंने भी पहले किया था. बस कोई न्यूज़पेपर ले लीजिए और रोज़ 10-15 मिनट लाउडली बोलिए. जो भी आप पढ़ रहे हो, जस्ट से इट आउट लाउड. That I think will help you improve your English fluency.
Praveen, I saw your message you have asked multiple times. So, ma'am, is there any tricks for RC, or the only thing is reading a lot? So, basically, it's not reading a lot, it is targeted reading. So, what do I mean by targeted reading? Read one essay. Read an essay, do active reading, write down the main point of every paragraph that you have read. So, this is active reading is important, not just reading a lot. See, when people have read a lot, they have developed the comprehension skill over years and they already have good comprehension skills. Now, if you have not read a lot for a very long time, if you start reading now, for you to develop the comprehension skill quickly, that's why I ask you to do that active reading, because it forces you to comprehend in everything that you're reading. It forces you to think about everything you're reading. You don't just read. It's live. No, did it start streaming?
OBS moves my local network.
Streaming off always off చేస్తాను.
Oh, maybe it is streaming. Just check
I
once.
don't think it is streaming కదా. ఫోన్ కాల్ చేయి, నాకు తెలియదు కదా, నువ్వే చూడాలి. ఇదే కదా నీ జాబ్. అది అక్కడ రావట్లేదు, అది we are stuck there.
ఇందులో వస్తుంది.
Okay, 1 second. We'll stop streaming and start streaming again. इधर आएगा तो 1 second. Let this come. Okay, I think it is starting again. Yeah. Just ask him to put us live.
No, but basically we are not moving there, no, in the OBS. We are just stuck there.
1 second. I'll stop it and. Okay, I think now it is working. Did you start streaming? Okay, I think, yeah. Yeah, we are live. Sorry about the interruption, guys. Okay, so we are live. Sorry about that. So we had a small technical issue. Okay, so where were we? We were mentioning, I think you had taken a question about, yeah, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so, yeah, I'll take Satya's question. Sir, I have done quants to a level where I can crack banking and SSC exams, I think, easily. But when it comes to CAT level, I always seem to get stuck and I miss several trigger points. So Satya, it's just a slight degree higher. You have to essentially now focus on harder questions. A lot of times people keep focusing and solving the same easy questions again and again. Now the easy questions will not help you go to the upper level. So basically, I would suggest that go to Cracku study room. If you keep practicing, you will be given harder and more challenging questions. Many people might think that, okay, these challenging questions I will not be able to solve in a actual CAT scenario, or this might never come in CAT. But many times challenging questions do come. If you see CAT 2023 quant, it was very, very difficult. And more importantly, as you actually solve more challenging questions, you become smarter, you become more capable, you actually become more confident in solving. All of those things are very important with actually taking that step from banking SSC level to CAT level as such. So keep solving harder questions, focus on getting access to harder questions and solving more difficult questions as such.
Okay. Mansi Upadhyay is saying, Madam, repeater here, scored 95% in VRC just because I have been an avid reader. What should I do now to bridge the gap between 95 and 100? So I think you should take this question. So somebody who has scored 95 in VRC, if they are looking to improve their score to 100 in VRC, what should they do?
Okay, so basically, if you are already a good scorer, you already are an avid reader, so you have good reading comprehension built in. Now you should look at how much you are scoring in RC and how much you are scoring in VA part. Now for me, VRC is the strength, so I actually look to score somewhere around 60 from this particular section. And the way I look at it is that in RC, I should get every single question. Now how do I ensure I get every single question in RC? I make sure that I look at every single question type. I look at every single possible distortion that is possible. I look out for traps that can be set. And because I actually set questions, I know the type of distortions or traps that can be set. That kind of judgment will come from solving a lot of questions. So I would say that solve a lot of RCs, difficult RCs, philosophical RCs, scientific RCs, informative RCs. Even when you're an avid reader, you will not have a lot of wide background of reading when it comes to specifically like economic RCs or like RCs about biology, chemistry, etc. So read widely and attempt a lot of different RCs. Your target should always be that I should get almost all RC questions correct or nearly all RC questions correct. The reason for that is that VA sometimes tends to be a toss-up. Sometimes you do well in VA, but you can't really bank on VA as such. Now, I always say that the most like safest source of marks is RC, especially for somebody who's already good with VRC. And the next best source of marks is parasummary, because parasummary is very similar to RC in a way. If you have good comprehension skills, they translate to parasummary also. Now the next one I feel from the 3 types of VA questions, OC parajumbles and para insertion, the one I feel most confident of, or where I feel my comprehension skills help me the most, is para insertion questions. So you should have a attempt strategy that firstly maximizes your RC score. You should try to get full in RC or nearly full in RC. So if you do that, then you can actually jump to the 100 percentile level in VRC section. RC should be perfect. VA will, because there is an inherent subjectivity, variability, difficulty in doing well in VRC, I would say that do near perfect in RC, do near perfect in para summary, and practice a lot in para insertion, para jumbles, and OC para jumbles. But perfection should be there from RC and para summary. Okay.
The one short kid is saying, ma'am, in just 2 months of regularly solving 5 to 6 RCs, my RC has improved a lot thanks to Cracku. First of all, congratulations for that, and I would recommend you to continue doing the same. Even if you have seen significant improvement, that is not the end. I feel that you can improve even more. All of us can improve more. So you have seen the process, you have seen the result, so continue doing the same. And what I would recommend even others who are preparing for CAT is there is nothing that is going to substitute hard work. So if you're able to solve a lot of questions, continue to do the same. You will definitely see results within the next 1 to 2 months.
We have a super chat from Priyanshu. He is talking about DILR's tips for strategy right set selection. So I'll tell you exactly how one should go about selecting sets. You should build strengths. In DILR section, you should have a very good idea about what your strengths are. Now, how do you go about building strengths? So that basically comes from practice. So I always think that I am very good with when it comes to arrangement sets. I'm very good when it comes to puzzles, when it comes to charts. I have these sources of strengths as such. So I always say that first look at charts. Charts are generally the easiest sets that you can possibly get. If you get a chart set, it will, of the 4 options, of the 4 sets that are there, from personal experience, from all the last few years of CAT that I've seen, the chart set has always been the easiest set. And also you should not just bank on it being easy, you should have actual strength in charts. So you should solve a lot of sets on charts. So you should solve sets on pie charts, bar charts, line charts. You should know all the types of charts that are there, and you should actually know how to read them, how to represent them, everything you should know. So then you will know that, okay, if a chart set comes, I will always select that. The next source of strength is arrangement. I always say arrangement because those sets can be easier, they can be more reliable, and they always come. Arrangements and puzzles has come in every single slot, every single year. They will come for sure every single slot, every single year. So you can always count on finding that arrangement set. Now that arrangement set might be very difficult, might be easy. You would never know as such. So you can't really just hope that there's an arrangement set and hope to solve it. So you have to then now build a strength in arrangements. So you do that by solving a lot of arrangement set. Basically sit one day and say that I'm going to just solve a lot of chart set. Sit one day and say that I'm going to solve 20, 30, 40 LRDI sets which are based on arrangements. Then you, like over a week or so, you can do all of those and then build a strength in that particular topic. Then go and say that, okay, I have strength in charts, I have strength in LRDI, in arrangements and puzzles. Now I will take a look at set theory Venn diagrams. So Venn diagrams also come fairly regularly. So among the 3 slots, you will get at least one Venn diagram based question in at least one of the 3 slots as such. Then basically say that, okay, Venn diagram, these are the possible questions that are there on Venn diagram. I'll solve all the sets based on it. 10 sets, 20, 15 sets should be more than enough to get a strength in that. The ideal strategy for DILR is just keep on building strength. So you should have basically this is a strength, this is a strength, this is a strength. Okay, what next? Now another practice type, this becomes a strength. So if it actually comes in DILR section, you can then pick those sets as such. This is my area of strength, I'll pick it first. Okay.
With respect to tips, I also wanted to add one more thing with respect to the DILR selections. This again I mentioned in some of my earlier streams. DILR comes after verbal section. So after the verbal section, towards the end of it, I try to mentally check out, and the last 2 minutes, I don't try to do anything which is intensive. Like I don't try to do any last minute salvaging of any RC. I try to just be quite relaxed, so that once DILR starts, I am in the right zone to tackle DILR. So the last 2 minutes, I keep telling myself that, okay, DILR is going to come next. So I'm not caught unawares. Every minute is crucial in DILR. So that is one thing that I would recommend you to do. The second thing is the first 2-3 minutes of DILR, I look at all the 4 sets so that I get a sense of what type of set it is. At least roughly I should be able to figure out whether it is an arrangement set, whether it is a DI set, whether it is a scheduling set, what is the kind of set it is. The second thing that I try to do in this 2-3 minutes is each of this set I try to figure out whether this set can be solved completely by ones or are each of the questions individual. Sometimes if you solve a set, once the information is given, you have just figured out the arrangement, then you can go ahead and answer all the 5 questions in one go. You don't need to answer each one of them individually. Those are the kind of sets that I would want to solve. On the other hand, there will be some questions where you have to solve each question individually. For example, you can figure it out when you look at the question that you will be given additional information. You, for example, are told that if A and B are part of the team, will C be part of the team, or etc. etc. Where you can figure out that, okay, these questions individually I'll have to solve them. Those are the kind of questions I would ideally not want to solve because they will be a lot more time consuming. in addition to it, one more check I try to do, at least when I start solving this particular set, is I try to see if any information can be gathered by looking at the questions. This helps me many times in solving questions faster, because sometimes if you are given less number of data questions, suppose you are given a lot of questions which have options, then you can get extra information based on the questions. For example, if this is an arrangement set and you know that you have to figure out where these 5 people sit across a table, there's a circular table and say 6 or 7 people have to sit, you have to figure out the order in which they're sitting. And if you're looking at the questions, and if in the questions it is given that, okay, who is sitting opposite A, and you're given 4 options, B, C, D and D, and all the 5 questions in that particular set are like that, then I know that when I start solving that set, even if I get stuck in the set, I can get some more additional information by looking at the options. How do I get additional information? Because if I'm getting stuck in a case, if I know that I'm getting 2 cases, and the person who is opposite A, in 2 cases I'm getting, in one case it is C who is sitting opposite A, in another case it is E who is sitting opposite A, but I'm say stuck in that set. Then I go and look at the questions, and in one of the question, if it is given that, okay, who is sitting opposite A, and the options given don't include E, then I know for sure that, okay, the first case that I'm considering is the correct one. So essentially, when I'm spending the first 2-3 minutes gathering through all the 4 sets, the things that I try to say is, what is the type of set it is? The second thing I try to say is, can this set be completely solved when I first solve the set on its own, or are the questions individually solved? The third thing that I try to say is, can I get any additional information when I'm trying to solve this set? That additional information mostly I'll get if it is a non-theta set. If the set has multiple choice questions, many times I'm able to get extra information based on the questions. These are the 3 things that I look at when I analyze the sets. And based on it, I make a priority order. In the first 2-3 minutes, I try to figure out that first I'm going to answer option A, then I'll answer option set 3, then I'll answer set 4 and say set 2. Once I have this priority order in place, then even if I get stuck in a set, there is no confusion in my head. I know that I got stuck in this set, but I know what to do next. So I tend to not panic even if I'm stuck in a set. So this is what I essentially do, and I hope that it was useful for you.
One more thing that I will say is that when you have those kind of sets where you have to attempt individually, okay, I usually say that I will attempt 2 sets, that is my target. Sometimes if I'm very lucky and the sets are easy, I can try to attempt 3 sets. So generally, wherever you have to attempt individually, keep that as the second set. Because what happens is that if you actually run low on time, even then you can partially solve your DILR set as such. Because if it's an arrangement to a puzzle set, you will either completely solve it or you will not be able to answer a single question. But if it is those kind of sets where you have to answer each question individually, you can do it as the second set, and even if you're running low on time, you can still then solve 2 out of 5 questions or 3 out of 5 questions. So that is generally how you should prioritize the order of attempt also. Another thing, as Maruti said, the options also give you clues. So if like you have a puzzle set, you have 5 people, 5 professions, A, B, C, D, E, doctor, lawyer, engineer, this, and you are asked in one of the questions that what is say A's profession. A's profession, there will be only 4 options. So automatically by looking at the options, you know that one of these 4, one of the 5 professions that is given is not his profession as such. So you can use that extra information by filling in the table itself. That from the question I know, from the options I know, that his profession is not engineer. So that can also help you actually solve the set faster.
Okay guys, we'll answer one last question before ending the stream. Please do like the stream guys. We got I think around 75 people who are watching the stream live. I need to get to another 25 likes, 75 likes we got. One last question, anybody who is looking. Shikhar Saxena is saying, sir, in some dashcards for faculty attempt, we can see, can Sayali Ma'am attempt VRC and Maruti Sir attempt Q and DILR, because in actual CAT, you people score high in respective sections. Yeah, that I think normally when we do the live attempt, Sayali attempts the quant section, I attempt the VARC and DILR. That is what we have been doing for the last few dashcards. But we are also looking to switch once in a while, where Sayali will attempt the VRC section, I'll prepare the VRC section, and maybe I will attempt quant and she will prepare the quant for one of the dashcards. We will let you know. We are something like that. We are thinking about it. Once it happens, we'll let you know. You want to answer one last question?
Okay. How much practice with RC sets is required to score 35 marks? Basically, think of it that you should get to a RC accuracy of 80%. Now, a lot of students who have a reading habit will already have that kind of RC accuracy. For them, I would say that solve one RC set every day. If you do not have an accuracy rate of 80%, solve 2 RC sets. If you have a very low accuracy rate, where it is very difficult for you to solve even one RC correctly, then I would say that instead of attempting RCs directly, start with reading articles, start with doing active reading of articles, develop the reading habit, develop this like a whole process of reading, and then solve one RC set every day. But ideally, if you're good at RC, one RC set every day is enough. If you're not so good at RCs, if your accuracy rate is below 80%, try to solve 2 RC sets every single day. So every single weekday is also enough. On Saturday, Sundays, you can focus on mocks because even then you will be getting RC practice there.
Okay guys, that's it for today. If you have any more questions, please do comment below this video. I look at all of the comments and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. So feel free, whether it is any issue that you're facing in your CAT preparation, or whether you have doubts about whether to do MBA or not, whether you want us to do your profile review, anything or the other, please do comment below this video. We will definitely try to answer it as soon as we can.
Okay. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining us.